enti mibisa President Akufo-Addo sa de we ya wo so na enefe sa obi bewu wo Ghana AMA ena mo autopsy report se nipa no yenya autopsy report a yensie no because na President Atta was ye Ghana this year and what did Ghana kunya enti yen tumi nkasa o mampania wunti ye be sie ne sa no she say yenya autopsy report enti so mampania Akufo-Addo wo pe autopsy report a can you kwasa wo request free busuafo freka me o say AMA for na bi so mo say me here President Atta autopsy report yenko na producer yenko tie Papa Tamels Ninuya.
The obsession about this autopsy report. If Koku Anyidohu would be minded, he used to work for President John Evans Atta Mills. Do you think the president was buried as his three bags, just like a chicken? Go to AMA. They have a copy of the autopsy report. They gave us a burial certificate. Go to 37 military hospital. There's a copy of the autopsy report over there. Those who perform the autopsies are still alive. I am not the one to give them a copy of it. Now, by the way, who are these imposter family members? How are they related to us? How can they be a family member of Professor John Evans Atta Mills? And I, the one who came from the same mother and the same father I'm not their relative. How? How come that whenever it gets to election time involving President Mahama, then all these autopsy reports and everything come up? Look, NPP and Koku Anyidohu, if you don't have anything to campaign on, please leave the peaceful Professor John Evans Atta Mills to rest in peace. Now, when you see a beehive, it's peaceful. But when you keep on touching it with a stick, the bees will have to come out. And you, Koku Anyidohu, shamefully, you will see the bee if you want to. You are trying everything to profit from Professor John Evans Atta Mills. You use his name to set up a fake institute. Now you are not making any money, and now autopsy reports. Anybody with average intelligence knows that you cannot bury a president without an autopsy report. What is
You see, I've told you, say, on my Ghana,
me pacha wo Ghana na what came we mo Facebook a wudru fia ye ni autopsy report ni ebekwa kwese ni just like that. And yes, it's a time. Say Jimmy Forway, you're walking it out. Omampani Akufo-Addo te one was so Koku Anyidohu so. Enfam faso bia mre Ghana. Ya to Obama president. Wa Bob sie 26 hu nyina hia. Ya to Obama president. Emma ketase shado ko ne tese no komoa. Ya to Obama president. Emma ye family and friends. Ya to Obama president. What me you should letter. And the man and ma at the Core Bank of Ghana could do one more. And no, Mr. President, into me, ma resort. Ya to Obama Ghana, Sicilia Branda pa, Afro the Ghanaians. Ya to Obama Ghana, John Kuma, Sika, $50 billion. Ayira, Ewanifie, dear human waya. Wonya says second shan a politankum. Mr. President into me and Kahin Chrawam. And no near dear, you're very important. Sikadia and a catasation proya. Adoku Akufo-Addo to Sanokomwa. Katasisha any dreamer a Sokoba Umia and the Akufo-Addo Pampas Wagana. This is the time one as a second year Sekasa. And yes, son, you ma fuwa ya. Anyidohu come deno. One kasa bopa ema ne be free ho no watimi fa autopsy report emrega na for say kwanya me fa so kum me bani ayido wuntimi ka ho asem me pacha wo ba share video no share video no share menko share na subscribe page no na ko step 1 tio wo ye no kwafo anaso ne yefo nenam emribi sa story ya kwakwedo wa karisa ena mribi kwa kwata sampa acheche kwanya efa so a President Atta ewu ye batana kwama adini nti wadane asem no enti mienko tie no na me ba.
Yeah. So that day the president was billed to fly to Lagos.
Okay.
Internal panel, he had given the go ahead to secretary to the president. So when we the president on troll letters,
yes.
secretary in the troll letters, or we are no assigning.
Yes.
So secretary to the president, Koku Menza, was given instructions to prepare a letter, now president didn't sign it, to officially inform parliament. So we took Akko Lagos. So it looked like a normal morning, even though we knew that there were health challenges. No two ways about that. So it was a sudden something. And when it happened suddenly, yes, there were professionals around. So he was moved in an ambulance. The ambulance. Yes. AMBULANCE. Ambulance. He was moved. There's always been 2 ambulances on standby at any point in time. I don't know. He was not left alone. His security close escorts, including professional policemen, went with him. There was a motorcade that carried him. There were doctors in the ambulance trying to do whatever they could do, first aid. And he was sent to the intensive care unit of the 37 military hospital. I repeat, the intensive care unit of the 37 military hospital.
Collapse our castle.
He didn't collapse. Whatever health challenges began at the castle. And they stretchered him from his residence into the ambulance, as will be the case.
Yes.
You have to be stretchered.
Yes.
So he was stretchered into the ambulance.
From time of health challenges to time we drew intensive care unit, how many minutes?
Well, the movement from the castle to 37, because it was at that time of the morning, around 10 o'clock, there was some traffic.
Yes.
Quite heavy traffic. So we had to, even the ambulance and the people had to move on to the other side of the opposite side. So we had to drive in the opposite direction to be able to get to 37 military hospital. And you will be surprised that in that short period, or in that supposed to be that distance, about 30 minutes to get there.
30?
Yes. The traffic was just so thick. And it's so ironical because President Mills himself, as a president, anytime we had to move out, say about free castle, a co-official assignment, his first instruction will be, you people should make sure that we use the road that has the least traffic. I don't want to inconvenience people. Yet that day when he was being sent, he was on that final journey, there had to be some inconveniencing because then we had to rush. There was no option. So the president was sent to the ICU. Medical doctors, both military specialists and civilian specialists, were on standby at the ICU when the president was sent in there. But it so happened that God brings us out here to serve and calls us back home to rest. So God called him back. So this whole propaganda
that
I put him in my pickup or my Ford is so ridiculous. It's not funny.
But I don't know why are you telling the story now?
Obi, there are times and seasons. At that time, first of all, in the first year or that particular year, Obi, one was too distraught to be paying attention to some of these things. She said, yes, when my mother died 26 years ago, maybe that was the first time death hit me at very close range.
Oh yeah, where the Koku Anyidohu ekan mribia etwam. And obachirechirem kwanya former President Atta efrim. Ewo asempa. Utie ya, ochirechirem nyina kwanya former President Atta we. Now, this the same person, NDC for coalition, na sie dun katia de wahwe fom se pua wo si Koku apai but a election walusu because ubekai se me Kwaku skete kram ni me kasa nsem bebre because me de to abonten I don't make damage you complete until na mri bi me beka wasam a wo se me de wo cover water region Koku na obiza na nanum mo no fiti ya ne yakun si ekume Kwaku skete na ye ya kana no obribu ahene kume first na no obribu ahene me ko na nantoa na nantoa ka kire ne se wo kai se wo do adwo akirewa sa asem na nye no kranka de na akodo adwo akirewa nti me se me kan sam na mi ni factor me nkasa mfa ho wo me ko water no na nanum botugwe nti wankasa ensam a wo keka na wankasa wo de gu opi hufi a enim tie na ubenya frim kom kakra ye de edewunti banchi akufu ado de be mo wadi nti ensam a mere bi atwam wo kan ni o na yentie campaign bi adu a Kwaku Ayéwà kom for former president Atta wo yenkoni yenkotie ensam a Ayéwà sa kan ye na no memendai na che ye wi a ya bo ne Papa Atta ne brade na che connect.
Honestly, I mean, if they hadn't raised
Tamale interchange where you could interchange with Kumasi when you're friendly leader about porter or expanding takra the port or we was expanding tema port yet Ghana Emamba umia kachre say well Babesi airport will Cape Coast any ne enfien sunni wudru gwaya asase mpo ye ni bi da hwa de anwe aguso se ebesi airport Ghanaians eba with the edwa John Dramani Mahama Kejetia market Kotokraba market Kumasi market awaye no hwa no ya when we are nanado ba enne emye kusie that's what we call a leader eba with the factory me point one factory pe the amount in some
Even in Japan, a campaign many near our bantama. Now, a coin or anna, just in say you go about a year as and so boy, and one semi brain. We can say a year how come sing, or you leave the pana nodding, or say a brand and a year or honor. Now come sing air disrespect, no, and no can say I will show you that my bottom is no. Those who are bottom saying, I must make sure some bottom saying, when you can, the small catch how come sing. In some of can know she palm was a match MPP palm, match MPP. Dog has no or cash a year won't to mess so hard time or see you see if you deliver in a shanty region. It is on what's our cash a year and if only be as what kinds of bed from Mumeku bed from a we are like in Java Babonta became more she will come on. Near good things semi brow, Babontin, Tamana campy and my Nimiano. In same kind of interest, like coming good, you know.
adesso John Dramani Mahama esi sack factory wasi sack factory ewo adesso kasamre Ghana ka Koku bottle ayekra ne dia makuafo John Mahama dwene wom ho ebesi sack factory kasie de si ho na me ne wo kase ukọ adesso a sack factory na me ne wo kana nkusie emrebie mponko na ntwie na omudidim na nado ba ye wachai ato ho ema sack factory no eda so si opposite sepusu dan etina me kamfo John Dramani Mahama ama o say sabe Ghana foi sankofa yenchi si ekofa de be ye de ade ne enkofa ne enkohwe sack factory no na me ba mato so
I swear to God. Make sure I have a kum say my body chair. Yeah, that is what in presence of my wife, 30 years of office. This arrogant woman say what bodamwa. Make sure say my bottom chair. Meanwhile, walk away in also pick up and the man next to the fee. Look, if But party no any Bawumia himself have nothing against him. But we'll see if you deliver Ashanti region. I'm never going to forgive them. If you know the effort I put in to get numbers in Ashanti region, was
it one to me, Chairman? Oh, where you bogus? Chairman, want to me, Yansen Pierre Nitrim. Well, you're useless. Yamana make a Canada Japan. I say, oh, want me? Asante region. You better say a few. Obey me and your vote to her. Ah, let me see Asante Mambu of food. What more better to a ban boom, dear my excellency John Dramani Mahama. Bebreson to Abba. Messi about to a Kamen Kwan Quachana Nieto. Nanka Medican Tenkua Bessiona, Mrs. Samajo Mahamasa, Mrs. Samajim, Mrs. Samano, Metase, MPP. Muku position. Now the party the Kosho position say pool. Womukwa 60, 70 years. Muko since Muya Mamba. Mubaba Nala and the Nikabe Senko. Sanko Tibi. I see how I come in. Oh, Chema want to be Jimmy Foy, Jimmy. Oh,
Master. To mount a platform and convince Ghana for Anzana Makasa. I'm waiting for Aduma Kubefi. I'm waiting for Ochibefi. I'm waiting for Anadombre. I'm waiting for Howard Kumsin. I have so many people. Omun Kasaya, I'm in Kasai. Now, Omun Kasai, we are. Yashomu vote over the Baba. Nami Uncle Sumakasa. Nafioshe MPP votes. You see, power be, minim senior power be a so any arrogance. How come say, may you general KTM on office? How come say, catch them say, what bottom, make sure I'm a bottom chill. Make sure MPP say my bottom chair, have a I swear to God. Make sure have a say my bottom chair. Yeah, that is what, in presence of my wife, KTM on office. This arrogant woman say what bottom one. Make sure say my bottom chair. Meanwhile, walk away in also pick up and the man next to the fee. Look, but party no any Bawumia himself have nothing against him. But we'll see if you deliver Ashanti region. I'm never going to forgive them. If you know the effort I put in to get numbers in Ashanti region, or
maybe producer Bossy.
Yeah, for 1 hour,
35 minutes. Time I can because I can say by 1 hour 30 minutes. Now, you need tape wembra. You are my man of Anas. Okay. Anas, video now what they buy no. And was $20,000. Uko Baumia. Baumia saw name pride. And the Baumia $20,000.
So-called fixers, Hottêvé minister, who's not only a public servant betraying public trust, but a top keeper of Ghana's purse, Charles Edubwahine, then the Deputy Minister for Finance. He spoke about how the Vice President Dr. Mahmoudou Bawumia will be key to the plan at the operational level, and how it is important for us to know him.
You know, I was just saying that I have to introduce you to the Vice President. The Vice President is a very good man.
Edubwahine admitted that the cash gift would do a lot of shopping and then proceeded to gather it into a polythene bag.
We'll do a lot of shopping. Should I put it in a bag? Yeah.
Okay. Maybe. Mede dwumadi nyina besi
so grade ya fo nya e wa no e de no ni keke 1 cd ya ya kai keke 1 cd ya ya di bia bo aye de e me ya fo tumi to bi woni ma ya ti ase say she say pa woni de ba no so called better than she say no e discover by you go to go me free shebi wona who's give ya na Zionfelix and Mohu Sikemi Abamu.
Given the resources at its disposal, one should expect at least 4 to 5 times the quantum of investment that the NDC claims to have undertaken. The close to 33 billion of borrowing that has not been used for infrastructure expenditure could have done so much in this country. If you take $33 billion and ask yourself, what could you have done with $33 billion? You could have solved the water crisis in Ghana. You could have solved our energy problems. Every region in Ghana would have had 1,000 kilometers of asphalt road. We could have transformed agriculture. We could have put in place a world-class hospital in every region. We could have bought 1,000 ambulances for the Ghana Ambulance Service. We could have equipped our existing health and education institutions. And we could have built an additional 600 senior high schools that the government is trying to build currently. And we could have constructed the Accra-Kumasi-Paga railway line as well as the Western Railway line. And with all this, we would have still been left with some money. Prices are increasing at a faster rate than the official statistics are capturing. A few examples will suffice. We've seen over the last 3 years, even pure water has gone up 3-fold, cement has doubled, and Olonka Ogari has more than doubled, Ideal Milk has more than doubled, a maize bag has gone up 6-fold, rice has gone up as more than double. It is clear that the cost of living as measured by prices of these items and others such as petroleum products, school fees, road tolls, and electricity bills have increased by triple digits. I should add that these price changes do not necessarily mean that single-digit inflation is not possible. It would depend on what is being measured and over what period. Mr. Chairman, how many Ghanaians have seen a single-digit increase in the prices of the goods they normally buy in the markets and shops? When you ask what is really driving this single-digit inflation, the explanation, ladies and gentlemen, is that food is what is driving, food prices is what is driving single-digit inflation. But we all know what is happening to food prices in our markets. So, what food is this that is driving this single-digit inflation? Most Ghanaians would attest to the fact that life in Ghana has gotten harder and harder over the last 3 years. Single-digit inflation has not reduced the cost of living, and in this regard has been rendered practically meaningless. Ghanaians are in fact experiencing a triple-digit inflation in their pain and suffering. Could it be that banks, like the suppliers of goods in Malata market, have not quite bought into the single-digit inflation idea? The financial services market, like our traders in Makala or Malata, appear oblivious to the fact that we have single-digit inflation prevailing in the economy. So where are we collecting our price data for the computation of inflation? Which markets are we visiting? I would like to know.
Okay, anyway, I'm watching Moha. Emma watching a woman be a wafidi no eda. Koku sketch me we say. Se me be we say na tenkom be pre. Enti na me nam from him. Juma die obeti anya bi wo Facebook no ahwe. Eye Apple 68 FM. Me pacha obeti